You've probably noticed that sugar is everywhere. It's in our drinks, the cereals, sauces, and even foods we don't expect. But have you ever thought about how much sugar we actually consume every day?
According to the World Health Organization, the average person today consumes around 17 teaspoons of sugar per day, when the recommended amount is only about 6 teaspoons. That's nearly 3 times more than what's considered healthy.
That's not just health issue. It's a lifestyle issue. The constant production and promotion of sugary products keeps us craving more, making it harder to live in balance. That's where the idea of eudaimonia. Eudaimonia comes in its a Greek term Aristotle used to describe the good life, not the life of comfort or indulgence, but a life of virtue, purpose, and balance where we grow and flourish as human beings.
But if we think about it, our world today often confuses pleasure with happiness. Overproduction and overconsumption of sugar based products make us chase satisfaction that doesn't last. And maybe that's what keeps us from achieving true eudaimonia.
So the real question is, how can we as ordinary consumers make a difference? How do we stand up to powerful corporations that keep feeding our sweet addictions, literally and figuratively? To explore on that, we've actually sat down for a 1-hour brainstorming session. And in that discussion, we've answered the following questions. How common are sugar-based products in the Filipino diet? Are schools, the government, and businesses doing enough to inform us? Should industries regulate sugar production? And lastly, how do moral and intellectual values tie into consuming sugar and living a truly good life?
And trust us, it wasn't just about sugar. We ended up talking about how this whole issue connects to our habits, our values, and even our sense of what it means to live well.
So here's what we came up with. Our combined thoughts on how the overproduction and overconsumption of sugar might be stopping us from reaching true human flourishing. Let us now dive in.
So, how common are sugar based products in the Filipino diet? Well, we have become aware that, as everyone has mentioned in our brainstorming discussion, sugar is in most of the things we eat and drink, from milk tea and coffee to soft drinks, kakanin, and viands that we love, such as adobo and ginataang gulay. It is considered a normal aspect of food culture in the Filipino context to consume sugar, so much so that we often don't even realize how much we consume. Moreover, according to World Health Organization, Filipinos are already taking more than the recommended sugar intake per day, which we believe speaks to how serious the sugar consumption issue for the Filipino citizens. Therefore, sugar is deeply ingrained in Filipino daily life.
Next is, are schools, the governments, and businesses doing enough to inform the people about the harmful effects of sugar? We agree with others that the amount of education and regulation to schools, the governments, and businesses is still inadequate. As Missy mentioned, sugar products are more accessible sold close to school or in common areas, and people often will disregard the health warning associated with sugar consumption. James mentioned how there are regulations such as the Food Labeling Act, but it is never enforced. If institutions facilitated increased education and were involved in consistent health campaigns, we truly think that Filipinos would better understand their sugar intake and could therefore better moderate their consumption. Hence, there is a lack of strong education and regulations about sugar's health effects.
Is there a need for industries to regulate the production of sugar? Why or why not? As James and Malakad pointed out in our discussion, industries need to regulate sugar production for public health, sustainability of labor, and for the environment. Missy and Eve both suggested that companies should decrease sugar in their products and be more forthcoming in their proposals. One example was for companies to develop lower sugar, more nutritious alternatives to sweetened drinks. While good for consumers, it could also be beneficial to the environment. On that account, industries should regulate sugar production and use.
Lastly, how do moral and intellectual values relate to consuming sugar and living a good life? Like others, choosing to lessen sugar isn't easy, especially when it's everywhere. But it shows that we care about our health and our future. Darcy made a connection between consumption and showing care for our health and our future. Eve noted that, in particular, wisdom and moderation can provide valuable assistance and guidance in living a healthier lifestyle. As we practice this virtue, we can find a sensible balance, living a life that is more meaningful and holistic. Thus, moral and intellectual virtues guide responsible consumption.
After a careful reflection on our answers, we realize one thing. While overproduction of sugar-based products does root to the overconsumption of it, our own decision also play a crucial role in achieving eudaimonia. The lifestyle we choose to live is as important as the efforts of the institutions in our society. Sugar is already part of our lifestyle. From our morning beverage to our favorite midnight snacks, it is almost impossible to avoid.
And still, little is being done to change things. Institution remains silent while we continue to choose what's convenient over what's right.
That is why education and regulation are so important. Once we understand how sugar really affects us, we can start making smarter and healthier choices. Let's take the first step toward change. To live with balance, act with virtue, and find joy in what's sweet.
But in what makes us truly flourish.
And that is the path of eudaimonia.